Hello, everyone, and welcome to Metaphysical Happy Hour. I am your co-host, Cassie Clayton, and...
Hi, I'm Alba, psychic medium and life coach.
Yeah. So tonight we have a completely different lineup and a completely different show for us here. So we're just going to kind of hop right. We usually kind of go through all of our announcements and things, but tonight we're just going to go straight to it. We have a bunch of really amazing guests with us tonight. First of which is Alyson Gannon, and she's a publisher, she's a medium, and she is also a teacher. And we're just going to go bring her on and then bring everyone else on. So cool. All right. So Alyson, welcome to the show.
Hi, Cassie. Hi, Elba.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Alyson, tell us a little bit about who you are and about so you've got an event coming up called Spirit Camp. So
Yes.
Tell us all about that.
Sure. I'm a psychic medium and created an event called Spirit Camp, which is a 5-day online event that is filled with 20 teachers, expert teachers, teaching workshops, meditation, healing sessions, demonstrations of mediumship, practice sessions, and we have also a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There are evening demonstrations of mediumship, and we're so fortunate to have 3 of the amazing evidential mediums on here tonight who will be doing the evening demonstrations, as well as Colby and Rita will also be teaching workshops during Spirit Camp. And Spirit Camp, this Spirit Camp is also a fundraiser. Everybody that is teaching is generously donating their time, their love, their knowledge and wisdom to help me on my healing journey. In 2021, I was diagnosed with advanced stage cancer, and it's metastasized to my bones, my hip, my neck, my spine, my liver, my lymph system. So, it's kind of taken over, but I have a lot of hope in trying a new protocol, and the funds raised from Spirit Camp will help me continue with treatment and reduce the stress that is associated with medical costs and all the expenses related to going through such a disease.
There you go. Wow, that's amazing. So let's go ahead and bring some of those people on so that they can kind of talk about their events as well, and then we will open it up to a roundtable discussion.
Beautiful.
So our next speaker is going to be Miss Colby Revel.
Hi, everybody.
Yes. So Colby.
Hi, Alyson.
Hi, Colby. Thanks so much for sharing your heart at this event.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Colby, would you tell everyone a little bit about yourself as well as your role in this event coming up?
Oh, absolutely. So I am a professional psychic medium, and I've been a professional psychic medium for 10 years now. And I'm pretty sure Alyson and I went back. I mean, she might have been in there that first year with me. And I will say, I've been lucky enough to travel the world and have the honor and privilege of serving alongside some of our amazing legends. And for me personally, I'll always be grateful to Alyson because she literally was one of the people that gave me that first boost, that first initiative, really helped out, really believed in me. And, so it's such an honor and a privilege to, be able to help her in any way that I can. I wish it was for something more fun, like a vacay. But, at the end of the day, a spiritual community is about community, and it is about coming together, and it is about, doing whatever we can to help one another. So for me, I am excited to teach a workshop on how to build your spiritual business. And that's something I'm just very, very passionate about, being a prior tax manager for 14 years. It's still in me. So I love bringing people together to, not just help them with the numbers, but to help them with the branding and the goals and the confidence. And then I will close Sunday evening with an evening of spirit messages, which is also one of my greatest passions. And that's really connecting to your loved ones and bringing through that evidence and those messages and just reminding us that they're literally just a thought away from us. So I'm very, very excited for Spirit Camp.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So our next guest that we are going to bring on is Natalie Lucia. So she is you are a psychic medium and animal communicator as well.
Yes, I am.
So
yes,
tell us a little bit about yourself and what your involvement in the event.
So I am a professional psychic medium, animal communicator. Animals are my heart. So that's my number one, I have to say. Not that I don't love people, but I really love animals. And I'm here, it's just to give back to Alyson. Alyson has supported me in ways that she probably doesn't even realize. I was going through some of my own stuff and she surprised me. I'm a book junkie. I don't know if people know this, but I'm a book junkie. And Alyson sent me books that helped me at a time when I was not happy, I guess we would say. So the fact that I could give back and I can help, jumping in on it, because she has brought so much to our community. I don't even know where to begin with how much she's brought in, how many people I've met through her, found my tribe through her, found a new friend, Alyson, who came in. There's just so many things I can say that I'm so grateful for. So, Saturday on the 19th at night, Cindy, my dear friend Cindy, and I are going to be doing an event together, and where we pull in spirits and we share their messages and their evidence to bring people some healing and knowing that there's more than what's here in the physical world. And that's what's really important to me, to show people that, we're not limited to just what's here.
Right, absolutely. And just so that everybody knows, we are dropping all the links that we are talking about as we're talking about them. They are going into the chat there for you, so you can be able to grab those and be able to help support the event. So wonderful. So our last guest is going to be Miss Rita. And so we are going to, so Rita, tell us a little bit about yourself. And
firstly, this is my first time meeting Alyson. And having survived cancer twice, I want to say to you, keep on plugging, honey. Keep on plugging. Okay, so I am a spirit medium, a spirit artist, a healer, and a fine artist. I do that. That's primarily what I am doing now. But my workshops with you are going to be two. I'm doing a workshop on when a medium loses a loved one, because having lost someone very close to me, I was getting messages continuously on how to help them through their process. And since then, and I just shared with the other guests tonight that my husband, who was a lifelong atheist as far as I knew, now believes because of what he experienced. And I'm so glad that I had the ability to point it out to him. Look, this is what's happening. This is happening. So those stories will be shared. And as well as Spirit gave me some exercises to tell him to do, which I'm going to be sharing in the workshop that I do when a medium loses a loved one. And then on Friday night, I will be with my dear friend Lori Sheridan, who is the person who invited me to come to this. And she was a student of mine, and we now demonstrate together. And it's wonderful. So in the spirit art, I will be sketching the person. I will, after I sketch the person, I will give facts about them while I'm sketching. You'll just see my hand going at 90 miles an hour on the pad, and then I will turn it over to the audience and say, who recognizes this person, or who does this person belong to? Because the trust in what we get is what we give, and in that trust, that's the way this communication happens. And I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for sharing that. And again, you can find all the links there in the chat. At this point, I just want to open it up to, just as a discussion, let's talk about, what drew everyone to, what drew you all to your all spiritual journeys?
Well, I think we all have various experiences,
Yeah.
right? We all have various experiences, but I think anyone who serves spirit has felt that nudge, right?
Right.
There's that nudge that you cannot resist no matter what is happening around you. But one of the things I wanted to mention about this spirit camp that I think is just phenomenal is how many incredible teachers are going to be there offering various workshops. I mean, this is incredible. I don't even know if there's really been anything like this, where you get to learn spirit art, or maybe get a message from your fur baby on the other side, or perhaps, there's so many others. I know we have some on intuition and energy. So, I mean, this is just fantastic to give people a buffet of spiritual fun, really.
Yeah,
In your
and
own home.
It's a great word for it. It's a
In your-
buffet.
Buffet in your home, so you could be in your
Yes.
pajamas if you want.
Maybe I'll be in my pajamas.
Oh, yeah, right. I'd like to see that.
Well, and I wanted to share, Rita, I attended one of your demonstrations before. I think it was you demonstrating by yourself online. And it was, probably within the last year or so. And
Okay.
you are the first and only person who has drawn someone that I could recognize, that I recognize from the spirit
wonderful.
world. Yes, it was a friend in spirit. And
Oh, wonderful.
it was just amazing. So I got to be a messenger for his family who dearly misses him.
Nice. Wonderful. Wonderful.
So
Take
Rita,
a screenshot.
yeah, definitely. Well, Rita, I mean, it was a fabulous. She's a fabulous spirit artist. So thank you so much for that.
So, are you saying you didn't recognize my stick figure that I drew for you, Alyson? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm a stick figure drawer too.
I don't know about you guys, but I've always loved spirit artists. I mean, how they can. I mean, I know how they can do it, but the beauty of it is unbelievable. It really is.
And if you are a stick figure drawer out there, Miguel Gonzalez is teaching in Spirit Camp on actually how to draw the faces of real life faces, so that those of us who are reduced to stick figure drawing, we can at least create something that resembles a nose, eyes, mouth, and head. So that's going to be a great class. That's 2 hours. And one more class I just want to mention and then get back to all of us here is really excited for remote viewing too. That's with Stephen Schwartz. And he is a pioneer. He is one of the founders of remote viewing. And he's going to take us on an exercise of remote viewing too. So really fascinating person.
Fabulous.
So really quick, I've got a question for all of our guests, and I want to know, like, what's like one story that you all can tell. Quick, I know we're kind of on a short time frame, but just like where you're like, yeah, you can't make this up. Like, like what kind of story just like stands out at you that you're like, there's undeniable spirit exists. You can't make this up. Who wants to go first?
I'll tell the story that I was quickly telling you before. I joined the Swampscott Church of Spiritualism. I am a spiritualist minister, and I joined there to become a healer. That's all I was interested in. I was not a medium. was interested in mediumship, and there was a wonderful medium who's now in spirit herself, Barbara Farewell, who kept walking around behind me saying, "You're a spirit artist," and I would say, "Barbara, leave me alone." And I was a wonderful time doing paintings, and that was my life, and that's all I really wanted to do. But I was very interested in healing because of an experience I had when I was very young, where I had a miraculous healing. And because of that, I was fascinated with how this could happen. I used to have dreams about it. So I joined Swampscott Church to become a healer. And Barbara, loving lady, kept walking, "Rita, you're a spirit artist. You're a spirit artist." "Barbara, leave me alone." I said, "Rita, you're a spirit artist. Barbara, leave me alone." And finally, literally to shut her up, I agreed to go to her class and to try it. The first was a Native American man, and for me, that's no big whoop, because I want to prove continuity of life. I didn't know this man. I didn't know that anybody in the room would. Second was a middle-aged man, and the third was an adolescent boy. After I drew the adolescent boy, the gentleman that I gave the drawing to took his wallet out, laid a photograph next to it, and said, "You just drew my son." And then I looked over to the person who I gave the middle-aged man to, and she was sitting there crying and said, "You drew my father." And I said to myself, holy, and I won't say that word because the next word that will come out, because I had no intentions of doing this. I wasn't interested in doing this. It wasn't anything that I had, a feeling about that, you get the nudge, but I got a push, by somebody else who spirit came to and said, "Would you please tell this girl we're trying to work with her?" And so, and that was a lot of years ago. And I've been doing it ever since. And I'm so grateful for the gift that I've been given, because I see the change that happens when people get the drawings of their loved ones, when they see it, when they say, "Oh my God, that's it. That's it.
Right.
That's her." That's, maybe the freckle is not here, it's over here, but, and I've had people say that, "Look at it, look at it next to the photograph." Sometimes they blow dry their hair, sometimes they don't. We all know these things. Hairdos change. I will say one thing that I always find fascinating is they will show themselves as they remember themselves, not as you saw them on their deathbed, because nobody wants a drawing of what they look like just before they pass. So they show, and fix their hair. And so they will always show themselves to me as they wish to be seen. Sometimes elderly, sometimes not.
Wow. Awesome. Well, okay. So Colby, do you have a moment you'd like to share?
Oh, yeah. Well, as my fellow mediums here, I'm sure we all have many. we all could write our own book on like the aha, unbelievable things, right? But I know for me, as I was studying for the CPA exam, I lived in a townhome and I had a neighbor, and I didn't know him very well at all. I knew his mother had passed away a few months prior, and he was probably in his early 50s, but I didn't know him too well. And one day I'm studying, and all of a sudden my heart just started to pound, like something was wrong with my heart. And that thought came in, Randy's having a heart attack. So I grabbed a neighbor and I kind of jumped over our dividing wall, and his sliding glass door was open. So I decided to run into this man's house. Now, I've never been in the house. I didn't know the man. I mean, that's really weird, I think, if you ask me. But in the moment, it felt so right. So I run all through this man's townhome. He's not even in that townhome. So I was mortified. So the neighbor I asked to go with me, she went and told Randy that I went through his house. So that made matters worse. Anyhow, 2 weeks later, I have the exact same feeling. And so rather than call that neighbor, I call 911. That to me just logically sounds so ridiculous and so insane. But I just went with it. And 2 officers showed up, and that sliding door was locked, but there was a little open window. And so they lifted me through the tiny window. And I remember going in the window and I couldn't kind of get in there quick enough. And I get in the window and it led to a bathroom, and I walk around the corner and there was Randy staring right at me in his recliner, passed away. And it was such a sense of peace. I could just hear his mother say, "Thank you for finding my boy." And it was just such a sense of peace that I still get goosies. And I just unlocked the door, and the officers came in. And when we cleaned out, I helped a cousin because he didn't have anyone. And a cousin came in from out of state. And when I helped them clean up, there was this coin on the ground that I knew was for me. And it was just a coin with an angel cut out of it. And it said, "Angel by my side." And I still have that coin to this day. And so anyhow, that's my kind of crazy story.
That's awesome. Thank you, Colby. So Alyson, what about you?
So about 2 weeks before my mom passed, my grandma came to me from the spirit world, and we were very close. She lived with us until my grandma's own passing when I was 16 years old. And she came to me during daytime. I was in my bedroom and I was walking toward the closet, and I was met by grandma and a man who I presume was my grandfather, but because I was not familiar with his energetic signature here on earth, he had died before I was born, I recognized my grandma only. And she telepathically conveyed, "I'm coming for your mom." And I responded, "No, not yet, because I need her here longer. And when you get her, you're going to have her for forever." And it was my grandma's way of compassionately letting me know that there was nothing that I could do to change the trajectory of my mom's divine passing. And so when I found my mom face down on the bathroom floor, getting ready for her appointment, which I was going to be driving her to, and all the feelings of guilt and grief came over. You know, if only I had been upstairs with my mom when she passed out and not on the phone talking downstairs. If only maybe I had taken her to a different doctor. If only this, if only that. I recall my grandma's compassionate visitation letting me know it was her divine time. And one other message with that grandma gave me is that no one dies alone. Even if they're physically alone, our loved ones from the spirit world gather round and hold their hands and bring them over. So nobody dies alone, including my mom, including Randy, and anyone else who was physically alone at time of passing.
Oh, that's amazing. And so I just want to take a very quick moment before we get to you, Natalie, because I know that Colby's got to run here pretty quick. But I know that Alyson is going to be visiting Colby's show tomorrow night. So I just wanted to give it a really quick shout out for anyone who wants to go continue hearing and learning more about spirit and mediumship. Go check out her show tomorrow at 4 p.m. Over on her channel.
Thanks. I'm gonna try to stay a minute to hear Natalie's story, though.
Okay.
and then I'll whisk off.
Right. But yeah. So anyway, so yes, Natalie, go for it.
All right, so here we go. So I don't know if anybody knows, but I'm actually a special education teacher, and I've been teaching for over 20 years. And one of my students, unfortunately, her life was taken. And I had gone to a medium, and I was like, you know what? We went to a whole group, and I was the one that was in the audience. That they're like, oh, I have this, this, and this. And I'm like, I think it's me, but it can't be me. But I think it's me. It doesn't say anything. Like, I'm that person, the one that you want to strangle. And she said to me, you know, I don't know why, but she's going to put a living bird in your hand. Okay. Like, how is that going to happen? All right, whatever, you know? So I'm home like a week later, and I'm called out to the driveway. I go out to the driveway, and there's a parakeet there. I'm like, what's going on here? And I put my hand out. It jumps in my hand. I'm like, oh my gosh, go get me a cage. Go get me something. I have to save this animal. And also it flies away. I don't think anything about it. I go to bed, and my student comes in my dreams, and she, just the way I would speak to her, because they're older, she's like, really? I put it in your hands. Like, what are you waiting for? And I was like, oh, I didn't even put that together. And she said, I need you to do this work. And I said, I'm not important enough. Everybody who does this work is important, because that was my belief, you have to be special. You have to be chosen. And she laughed and she said, could you imagine if you ever said that to me? And she just left. The next day I'm eating breakfast and I'm sitting with my kids and I'm telling them this story. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a wild bird comes and joins us outside for breakfast and eats with us. And I looked and I said, that's it. That's it. I have to find it. I have to figure this out. So if it wasn't for her and, a tragedy that occurred in my life, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow. Isn't that awesome how spirit works?
Yeah. It's funny because I was listening to Kobe earlier when she was saying how Alyson believed in you, and I feel the same how you believed in me. And, even though I'm like here, I feel like I'm going to be years later with Kobe and still supporting her in anything because she's believed in me and is helping me build my business. And I think that's the most beautiful gift to have from people, regardless, from somebody that I didn't know that can believe in me and give me that much support. It means a lot.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's what we're here for, to support each other, right? That's it. Let's build and grow this community. So,
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, and I got my tickets for all 5 days, so I'm super excited.
yes.
Awesome. Well, and that's the other thing. There's 5 days, right, that you can come to all 5 days. Many of the classes are recorded for replay. We have those in bold, which ones are recorded for replay. So if you aren't able to attend live all of them, you'll be able to have time afterwards to watch. But then we also have 1 and 2 day passes as well. So if you can only come for 1 or 2 days, we've given that, we have that option as well on Eventbrite.
Gotcha. Well, and also there is a raffle, correct?
Oh, that's
Yes.
right.
Going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So, again, wonderful medium friends have donated. I think there are about 10 mediums who've donated a reading, and it's a raffle reading. I don't know what the title is called. And so, yes, Cassie, if you wanted to share that would be great.
Yes. So wonderful. So all the links are there in the chat. Everything for Spirit Camp. I want to thank everyone for coming on for tonight. Thank you to all of our viewers who have listened and chimed in and joined us here. This is just a really amazing opportunity to bring everyone together and share this time. And so I just want to thank everyone. And any last words from any of our guests?
I really want to say
the Spirit Camp. I'm sorry. I just had to get that out. I can't. And so I've never seen anything put together like this. The people, the opportunities, everything. Like I'm excited for it.
Me too.
I would like to, thank Natalie and Rita and Colby. Without them and the other mediums who are so generous in their time and love, we wouldn't have Spirit Camp. So, thank you both, and Colby, who had to leave. It's really amazing. The community has just been so supportive and amazing, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
It's a beautiful way that Spirit brought you guys all together, and to see all you guys come together and support somebody that you truly love, and you see it within your guys, the work that you guys are doing. I feel everything happens for a reason, and it's a beautiful gift.
Yes.
And thank you both for having us all on tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. It's our pleasure. So, all right. Well, with that, we will go ahead and close the show. Everybody, we will see you all in a couple weeks.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.